All right, we're live. Spencer over there. Hey, Jake, you're going to control, like, I got the participant. If anybody happens to jump in and ask questions, you just kind of keep a look eye on it there, okay? Thanks, dude. Yep. All right. Welcome to Monday hot seats. Second week in a row we're doing it. So basically what I'm trying to do for this is trying to create some consistency in coaching. And so, you know, we got this beautiful office, and we just like, that's one of the key things that it helps is for you go into the field and you fail really quick, then come back and get coaching on it. A lot of times, given enough time, you could figure out what you're doing wrong, but this accelerates the process. It's said more than 70% getting better. So basically, we call it hot seat. It's not real hot though. This is basically me trying to figure out exactly where maybe you took a wrong turn or where it's like a helping skill set. So with that, we'll get started. First up, James. Tell us about your week, what you've been, struggling with, but you're doing good with anything you want.
My main thing was just kind of getting back in the groove of actually doing something after the holidays. And
shake off the Christmas ham.
Yeah. And so I mean, like last week I kept finding excuses, and I really just didn't do anything last week. But then I came over here. Yeah, but then I came over here this morning, and so I dialed from 10 to 11. I made like 25 dials. I talked to 10 people, booked 8 appointments.
8 appointments? I ain't got a problem with the phone. How's your show rate? You do pretty decent on that?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
Most of the time, like out of those 8 appointments, I will close about 6 of them.
Okay.
But my main thing was, like I told you last week, is when I'm going in there, a lot of times I'm only getting 1 or 2 apps in a house, whereas I know you and Brand are doing like 4 or 5 apps.
So you want to know how to just get better. You're doing good. You're doing okay. You want to get better.
Yeah. Right. I know. I mean, I'm helping my clients, but I can help them better and help myself. I know I'm leaving money on the table.
I understand.
So to speak. Not that we're there just to get all the money we can, but we want to make sure that everything is covered.
I understand. So one of the easiest ways to do that is just adding some ancillary app. Yeah. Extra apps. And the way you do it, and this is actually, it's believe it or not, it's easier to do it with people that qualify or can afford smaller face amount, which seems counterintuitive, but here's the deal. If you've got somebody, I was just coaching Nick, and I got people in the field right now, so I'm going to have to time out if I get a call and stuff. I got my phone in my lap. But he like last week, I helped him kind of coach them. When this guy wanted mortgage protection, but he was older, had some health issues, and so he's not going to get $80,000 or $100,000. I mean, so what I coach and say is, were you here last week when I was talking about like herd mentality and stuff like that? So. But a lot of so he was in a home today, had an 82-year-old, and I say, what the way I'm going to role play a little bit. Let's pretend you're 82, all right, and you're not qualifying for you send a mortgage protection for 82. Yeah, you ain't getting mortgage protection just like your age, first of all. So I'll say, awesome. All right, tell me a little about your health, James. I had a heart attack 4 years ago, or 6 years ago. Oh, but nothing since. Say no.
No.
Oh, that's real good. So I'm basically, first of all, I'm kind of creating hope, like when they give me any bit of good news at all and celebrate. It's like, oh, but you haven't had anything since? Yeah, we've actually we've got a company that I think actually rewards you for if you haven't had any health issues for more than 4 years. I'm thinking Transamerica preferred in my head. It's over 4. And a lot of times, if you really don't have any other kind of health issues or anything, maybe they'll get you preferred. Now, I will say this, James. I mean, people, a lot of our clients, when we, when they're in their 70s or 80s, what we do is we typically use what's called a mortgage protection strategy instead of a mortgage payoff strategy. Frankly, anytime you get in your 70s or 80s, it's just crazy too expensive to try to pay the whole thing off. And what's interesting though is a lot of people, that get this, they realize that the most important asset's actually not their home, the equity that they have in their home. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put together, like, because we're not locked into a single company. We're more like a brokerage. I can do what's called a brokerage package. And we're going to kind of try to attack. We're going to be a little creative in how we attack it, but I think we can probably get you some really good coverage without breaking your budget. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a 6-month, 8-month, and 12-month protection program in place. That's the mortgage times 12 times, well, 12, 8, and 6, or 6, 8, and 12. That's 6 months of payments. And I go on to explain.
And you're just doing what their monthly payment
Name
is.
it, yeah.
Okay.
Say it's $1,000 a month. Yeah. I'm going to get coverage for $6,000, another one for $8,000, one for $12,000. But I'm not going to put 6, 8, and 12 at the top. That's a mistake. I'm going to put 6-month protection, 8-month protection, 12-month protection.
And then the monthly.
Yeah. Now, in addition to that, if they're under 70, at the same time, because you're actually still qualified to get a very inexpensive supplement, an AD supplement, accidental supplement. And the chance that you slip and fall, we are going to actually be able to pay the whole thing off. So I'm going to do my second half. I'm going to stack Transamerica with the Move Accidental. And so we got all of our bases covered this way. We basically have taken care of all the risk. And if you do happen to die from an accident, we are going to pay it off. But if you die from a health-related issue, we're going to give you 12 months of protection. Yeah. Does that make sense for first of all?
Yes. Yeah.
And so that's
and I've done that.
So now I'm up to 2 apps.
Yeah.
But yeah, go ahead.
So what I'm gathering, it seems like instead of waiting till you get a solid yes on one app and then you just roll them all together.
Roll it, and that's what Brant does. Brant's
Almost
actually
like
really good at it. He's better than I am at putting these brokerage packages together. And so now, obviously, if they got grandkids, especially in the home or whatever, how many grandkids did you say you have? You got 3. Oh, they live around here. Gotcha. Before you present, you basically put a brokerage package. So really, we have, and this is where you can use the mistake would be to use the term, or the numbers 8 or 6,000, 8,012, like I said before.
Yeah.
But if you're doing brokerage, you have a bronze, a silver, and a gold package. Yeah. A bronze package also includes, so bronze pays for it takes care of 6 months. It's 6 months protection, and the grandkids each get 10,000 each. So now I'm up with one person. I got the Transamerica underneath it, or the Living Promise, or the Plan Right, or the CFG, what it is. Got an accidental in there that's going to be for catastrophic. Be like something really bad happens, it actually is going to pay the whole thing off, right? And then I'm also bundling in like grandkid type stuff. So for one person, I'm looking at 1, 2, 3, 4 apps. And these add up. All these little supplement stuff really, really
now,
add
when
up.
you do the children or grandchildren, do you pretty much always stick with 10,000?
No, I mean, part of it's kind of feeling
them out, kind of.
Yeah, 10,000 is good though. I think it's a nice round number. Honestly, I would ask Brant that because he has more experience in bundling those, and he's got more experience bundling the kids apps into it. I like 10 just because it's going to be soup. It's going to be really cheap too.
Yeah. It's almost impossible to say no to.
Yeah, but the real secret to real bundling is to come up with bronze, silver, and gold packages. Yeah. And it works. It's really good for older people because they're used to that sort of terminology. And so that by itself is probably going to help you. Yeah. It's really how you package and how you present. Because the one thing I will say is that people buy when value exceeds price. Yeah. And so we gain. So if this is the price, and the value the value in your mind is here for just paying off 6 months of the mortgage, but all of a sudden their grandkids get coverage, and if they die in an accident, pays the whole thing off. The price went up a little, but the value went up a lot. Yeah. And so by doing that, we're really it's 2 reasons. I mean, people are going to buy on emotion, but they back it up with logic, and we take care of that logic by making sure that our value exceeds our price. Yeah. And that really helps. And you're putting a lot of apps in one home, which is going to increase your persistency. Yeah. So, does that help?
Yeah, I like that. And I've tried some of that. And I think the times that it hasn't worked are just their excuse or whatever.
Stop doing
Yeah.
All they're going to hear is
their excuse or whatever is that I can only afford X amount of dollars, and you're in. And sometimes that is true, but then sometimes it's just an excuse. And I guess that's where I need to work on like the front end of the ATM and stuff, and making sure that I build that rapport and that trust and all with them better.
And again, and you're going to be like, some people will lie. It's common.
Yeah.
I mean, we've always done it when we don't want to buy something. I wish I could. I should care for it.
Yeah.
But as soon as it's like if they, I'm going to use extremes to prove my point. $60 for a $10,000 policy, $60 for 1.5 million. Oh, I can do that.
Yeah.
Value's way up.
Yeah.
So cost all of a sudden isn't an issue.
Yeah.
So somewhere between $1 million and 10,000, we got to figure out what it is, and we can help them achieve that more inexpensively by putting like accidentals in place, like to supplement it, to bring the value up, and the children's stuff too. You're getting more. But if they got a hard budget, just do your best to stick around and stay into it. Really sell even so if you get down into if their budget's $15, we're not doing anything but finance. We're doing burial coverage now. Yeah. Right. And so really, in those scenarios, I'm more focused on who is going to bear the burden of burying them. Their relationship. Are they close? Have they done nice things for them? Edify the heck out and say, that's really awesome that you want to take care of your nephew, your son. I wish we had more mamas out there that wanted to take care of their families like that. I mean, here you are trying to do it even after you die. Yeah. Does he know that you're doing this for him? Wow. I mean, so if it's okay with you, James, instead of trying to focus on some huge, face amount like a lot of insurance people are going to do, if it's okay, I'd really rather just kind of focus on your budget. Make sure that we get something that you're comfortable with, because I'm sure you'd probably agree, Stephen would, let's pretend that's your son that's helping you pay for it, that Stephen would appreciate even $1,000 or $2,000 instead of nothing at all, if that's what you can afford. Would you agree with that?
Yes. Yeah,
let's see what we can get you there. But that being said, is there a certain number that based on, you're probably on a fixed budget like a lot of people are, our clients that are seniors. I can start this anywhere you want. We can look at 15, 20. We can, if you want to see how much 30 or 40, I can look at that. But you tell me, because I'm not here to take your money. Yeah. I'm here to help make sure your family's protected. Yeah. That you can do what you want for your son. And I really kind of focus on that relationship.
How do you handle, and I know there's some people out there that are just idiots and you can't help them. But
yeah, there are.
I mean, seriously. But how do you handle situations, or maybe where they just insist, they tell you that they want, let's just say they want $20,000 worth of coverage, whatever. They're telling you that from the get-go, whatever, and they're just adamant that they want that. And so then you show them what $20,000 is, and they're like, "Oh, I can't afford that. I can only afford $15 a month or whatever." And so for $15 a month, they can get $6,000. And they're like, "Oh, well, that's not enough." That's not, and you go through the whole thing, just similar to what you just did about, $6,000 is certainly going to help pay for the funeral, even if it doesn't pay for all of it.
But see how see if you do what I did up front.
Yeah, it's going to take care of a lot of that.
Yeah, because when's the best time to overcome an objection?
Before it happens.
And so by going, really finding out the relationship. And so if it's okay with you, I really, instead of focusing on some big face amount,
yeah,
and your role, i.e. 20,000, I'd really rather focus on something so you're going to be comfortable.
Yeah.
Something that, because right now you're probably losing a little sleep because you got nothing in place to protect them. But if you had too much, you're going to be losing sleep because it costs too much. Yeah. I want to try to find something in between where you're sleeping comfortable at night, knowing that your family's got some protection, but also something you can afford. Okay. And I call that, before the ATM came out, we called that, I had this, Andy jokes about the 15 left fees. There's three, you could say maybe four major parts of the income. The first part is report. The second part's why they need the coverage. The third, and almost the most important part, I'll say this. It's the most important part, but it doesn't work unless you have number two, which is the why. Yeah. Is budget sensitivity. And the fourth part is just close. Learning how to closing language. What might work, or I'll tell you what, why don't we do this? Let's give this a shot. I call that leading the witness or suggestive selling, but you got to make it sound like a question. Right. You can't just tell them what to do. You can't order them around. Yeah. But hey, would it make sense? Stuff like that. Those are closing techniques, right? It's just the language that you use to sort of inch them across the finish line. Yeah. But like I'm probably less likely to get that. Well, I want a 20. That's not enough. If I approach it, because I already know in the back of my mind that's coming.
Yeah.
It's almost like it's like I've been here before, and I can see. I mean, because
Yeah.
the reality is, there's only so many scenarios inside of a home,
Right.
and I've a lot of us have thousands of these under our belts. Like I'm already thinking, she's older or he's older, like based on what they have already. They're and listening to their language. If it's all broke language coming out of their mouth, the poor mouth in it, we call it. So my mom used to call it. So I'm already expecting them to say stuff like that. So what I want to do is I want to cater to that mindset and try to help them the best I can.
Yeah.
So you've got to remember to do that stuff up front before they get to it. You got to beat them to the punch.
Yeah.
And that's why I say, if it's okay with you.
Yeah.
So now they're in control.
I've been messing up. Yeah.
Yeah. What I'd like to do, because you would agree, like even like if it's $6,000, like before even get the whole 20.
Yeah.
He'd probably appreciate that than having nothing at all.
Yeah.
Is it okay if we focus more on your budget today than that big old price or the big old tag at the end?
Yeah.
Okay, let's do that. And so now they're driving. It's their idea. They're in control, and hell, they recommended it.
Yeah.
But I led them the whole way there.
Right.
Makes sense?
Yeah.
It's just practice, though. It's remembering to do it, and it takes a few homes to kind of switch because you're already in some kind of a habit. So you're not stopping something. You're gonna replace it with starting to do things like that.
Well, and that's like today when I was last week. I like what you said about I'm planning my route for tomorrow.
Oh yeah, we've been using that guy.
Yeah, so that's the first time I heard that was last week. So and that's what I use today.
Yeah. You got 8 out of the 10 you talked to.
Which and 2, I was dialing in my home county, so I had a lot of in common with people.
Yeah, of course.
So and that always helps me as well when I have leads in my home county. Like the one lady, like Miss Judy, when I called her, I asked her, Miss Judy, I said, aren't you the one who used to work at Harvey's? Oh, yeah. I mean, so.
Well, yeah, that's a home. Of course, if you're doing that.
Yeah.
But if you couldn't book it.
Yeah. So.
Hang on, this is Almonte. He's in his home. Hey, buddy. Yeah. What you need? I'm gonna put you on speaker so I can hear you better, okay?
Okay.
All right, go ahead.
And so, one thing I just wanted you to check in for, so do you take prescription medication called steroids or?
Yeah, that's thyroid. Yeah, that's fine. 100% standard.
Okay.
Very, very common. Is she hypo or hyper? Probably hypo. Most people are hypo. Yeah. I actually gotta go to the doctor to get checked for that because I run at 97 degrees. I heard that was a sign. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. And I hear I might lose some weight. Go ahead, man. I will with Synthroid. No, she's fine with that. That's very standard and very common. Is that it? Is that the only medical stuff?
Yeah, everything else seems good. She told me about she has like DSP with the military, and then she has 2 IRAs.
Okay.
Would you get anything for that?
Well, not right this second. Get as much information as you can on the IRAs. We may be able to help her there. The one thing about IRAs is they're good at being tax deferred, but they're subjected directly to the market. And every time the market drops, it kills their value. And if you have a 30% drop in your value, it takes a 43% increase just to get to zero. And we do have some products that basically prevent any drops from happening. So you get partial gains, really good gains, but you get no drops. You don't get the whole amount. But anyway, if you just get the information, I'll kind of. We could probably help her get her into something where she makes more money long term.
Okay.
Because she's so young, yeah, she would really benefit from putting it into something that just is not going to lose any value. And then also, if she's making any monthly contributions, just write that down. We'll take a look at that for her too. Okay. Try to help her out all the way around. All right, buddy. Talk to you soon. Call me if you need anything. All right. Bye. Is this first sale going to be making it? He's about to make his first sale. Yeah, he's filling out the app right now. That's right. Did you hear his Like he's got that. He knows how to talk like in the home. He's like, so 30. Yeah, okay, so 30. Like he's not excited.
Mm.
So
I do like that about Armante.
that boy's gonna be coming here.
He's smooth.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, he is. He came over to my house last night and was on the phone. I was shocked. Like listening to him, like, this is your first dial? That's ridiculous. Hang on, this is Armante. Hey, buddy, go ahead.
Hey, so I'm going through the application right now. I see the disability rider.
No, you just ignore it. No, we're not doing any DIR or waiver of premium. You can skip right over that. The biggest thing is just make sure you get all signatures, even if you don't think you need it, because we can shred it when you get here if you don't need it. But that way you don't have to like keep going back to her house and bugging her. Like just it's better to go and just have her sign everything. I always say it's better to have and not need than need not have.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
All right, buddy. All right, later.
He treats it like it's not a sale, it's a job. Like, that's what I got to do. All right, I'm filled out.
That's what he is. Yeah, he's got that demeanor about him, so that's perfect. All right.
Make your first and third. Let's go, babe. Come on.
Joseph gets $100 bonus for every first sale, so he's real excited. In my base shop. He's like, come on, Armante. He's rooting hard for him.
Hardcore.
Okay, yeah. I'm rooting for him too. I'm happy to pay the bonus.
Yeah, that's right.
All right. Hey, Joseph, can I ask you a huge favor, brother?
Yeah, absolutely, bro.
Would you mind getting me some coffee?
No, that's cool.
I know. I got a cup right
If
here.
anybody understands that, it's me.
I know. I hate to ask it. It looks weird.
You want a brand new one?
No, you just put it in there. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Thank you, brother. I appreciate you. All right. Where were we at? Anything else for Monte Carlo?
No, I think that covered a lot right there, and I think that's going to help me.
Okay.
Just making sure I do those things up front to avoid the things in the back.
It's the biggest part.
Yeah.
Is being able, it's kind of seeing around corners a little bit, and the
Yeah.
reason you can see around corners, it's not your first time.
Yeah.
And it's like you just saw it just like now. It's like this is probably kind of let me go ahead and handle that now.
Yeah.
And I just know the biggest fear. Most people like do to think about it because the price is too high. They're scared.
Yeah.
It's their ego getting in the way. Like they have we have to give them excuses to spend less, and it makes them feel better that we're the professionals coming in, and we're the ones recommending. So it's like, well, yeah, of course, I don't mind spending less.
Yeah.
And there's no ego problem. There's a huge ego problem for most people because they're embarrassed, so they come up with other words for it, like, oh, you can run this by my financial consultant, stupid things like that, instead of just taking care of their family.
Yeah.
So we got to overcome that before they say it, and give them good reason, get them to agree to it. So, all right.
Okay.
All right. Who's next? You?
I was going to ask a question.
Can I get y'all to switch seats just for the camera?
Yeah.
That's going to be, we're designating that the hot seat.
I was going to actually ask a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
What you
Anything
were
else?
talking
Tell everybody who you are.
DeVille Walker. I'm
Bill.
still unlicensed, but I'm trying to get prepared.
There you go. All right, go ahead.
So, is that technique, is that something that you suggest waiting on until a person is more comfortable in the home, or is that something you suggest going right after?
If you're comfortable with it, you can do it right away. I got brand new agents doing like Nick and like these guys that were here last week. This is really their first full week in the field. They're already using the techniques that you weren't here last week.
No, I was watching.
You were watching it. Though. So you saw Nick and Taylor. They're using the techniques that I was teaching last week today, like in this week. So it's really more about how quick you feel comfortable doing it. Now, I mean, because the more you can cover before it comes up is always better. I'll say that to say this. If you are new, don't think you have to do everything all at once. How you eat an elephant, one bite at a time. That's why I really encourage people to get in love with the idea that they're going to fail. There's no way to do it right. You got to fail. And it's going to cost money. It's going to cost time. It's going to cost your ego. It's going to hurt your feelings. But if you can if you can set yourself up and say, I know it's going to cost money, it's going to hurt time. Like if you can prep yourself that, dude, you're the best. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Thanks for this elbow.
Elbow was right in front of the camera.
That's all right. Delivering coffee.
Do I need lotion? Are we good?
You got lotion. That's what I put on stage, really.
I need lotion.
Yeah. I'm thinking about Ashley elbows. What were you saying?
Oh, no, you were just
I
saying.
had Joseph's elbow in my mind. You were just saying somebody else. And so it was the elephant in it. And so it's failure. And I was using this. I was trying to explain this to Taylor last week, and she was hitting the field. When you go out and you fail, and then you come in for like what he's doing in training and stuff like this teaching will stick. And it'll be easier to use what I just told him because he's failed in a similar situation before. Because his mind is actually looking for a band-aid for that. He's trying to figure out how. And I'm giving him the solution. So he has a place already in his mind to put the solution. He's got like a square hole. I just gave him a square peg. And it was it. But if it's all hypothetical and you're just trying to learn it, you got all these pegs, but you've got nothing really to put them in. You've got theories, you can kind of understand, but until you get real world experience and fail, you've got no holes to fill. And the more holes you can create, the more holes we can fill, and you're going to be able to move faster and better over time because you won't need to because you fill them all. Because the reality is there's really only so many situations in a home. Everybody's worried about, can they trust you? Everybody's worried about, are they getting screwed? Everyone wants to make sure they're getting the best price. And so if you know that, and you know that people are skeptical of you walking up, as long as you try to everything you try to do, invest heavily into your people skills and books and people skills and association. That's why a lot of times when I'm teaching, I do role plays, because I don't want to just tell people words. I want them to hear how I say it and how I use my hands and stuff, because everything I'm doing is trying to put people at ease. It's really important. I've screwed everything up at home except rapport and made sales. But if you have horrible rapport, but you're dead perfect on the why, you're dead perfect on budget, you're dead perfect on your technique in terms of presentation, you're not selling a thing. You've got to make people feel good around you. And the mistake that people do is they try to make people feel good about them. The trick is making them feel good about themselves when you're around. It's a different mindset. And so it's genuine compliments, it's genuinely nice, it's genuinely being interested in people and their family and their interests. Like Andy Albright always says, like what they like, hate what they hate. There's a lot of that. And the more and the quicker you can do that, the quicker we get past, when you walk up, unless you look like them, same race, same religion, same age. If you walked up to, how old are you? 43. So you walk up to a 43-year-old black man, you're not going to have any better rapport. That's perfect. Now, as we get in degrees of separation from 43-year-old black man, we have to connect on what's basically called common ground: schools, military background, children, job, area that we grew up in, and I have found age is actually, if you're close in age, it don't matter. That seems to be the predominant. Close in age, I don't care what you look like, where you come from. Man, our knees hurt together. That's it. So I love it when I hit somebody with close to age. But if not, you've got it. Your first job when you walk through the door is a figure, you're asking yourself, how am I going to connect with this person? Not how much insurance they can afford, not how great the small talk. Your job one is connecting. If you can't connect, you've got no bridge to walk across. Because sales is a transfer of belief from you to the person you're sitting in front of. And if you don't have that connection, there's no way you can bring your belief to the table. So you got to figure that part out. So I always look at so people always joke, oh, we're going to talk about the weather. Yeah, weather is fantastic to talk about because it affects everybody universally. I like to talk about people's homes, how long they've been out here. If they live in a trailer, I love their land. It's so peaceful out here. God, I live in a dang neighborhood. Me and my wife have been talking. We want to get out. You guys like living out here? No, we hate it. Oh, really? Then you got to pivot and figure out why they hate it, and then hate it with them somehow. Without sounding, you don't want to be fake, but the more that you check, me and you're the same, me and you're the same, me and you're the same. You get three of those. Moving on, cruising. Absolutely. So let me tell you, you guys have a table or something I can kind of set up and I'll explain how this stuff works and get it else here. Because I know I don't want to talk to insurance guy all day. And then when y'all sent this form in originally, what was kind of going through it? Sometimes people have lost someone in their family. Sometimes you see something on the news and kind of makes you think sometimes. Yeah, I don't know what it was, but tell me your story. What is kind of, and that starts the conversation. That I'm tiptoeing into the why there. And then, I edify them for that. And that's just about it. It's a pattern. small talk, why, edification of their why, which means compliment them and be amazed that they want to do that for the family, and then budget. I can't emphasize budget enough. I am so sensitive to budget. Like just, yeah, it's ridiculous. And so I'm because I know that's where people are going to trip most of the time. So I don't know. I was doing a lot of rambling and talking here about the whole process, but I don't have any idea if I answered anything for you. Yeah,
Yes.
okay.
Actually, more than that.
Oh, really?
Over
I'm known to get off topic. The coffee helps. What they call ADHD. I am a little scatterbrained, but when I'm at home, I'm laser focused on what I need to do. It's always connection. It's always trying to figure out an angle I can help. And that's it. And not be too dang excited. Like Armante, when he was just talking, money.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it looks like, so the 30's okay? Okay. Not like, sweet. Yeah, that 100,000. That's awesome. Oh, yeah. Oh, and she's got a couple hours. Is there anything we can do to help with that? Yeah. Like, I'm not too excited. I'm like, yeah, in the back of my mind, I'm going, holy shit, he's going to do an annuity too. Like, I want to jump to the roof. I can't let on to that.
Yeah.
You got to play it cool. Yeah. So you're cool. You're smooth. So, it's a lot like courting a girl. You excited, you can't show it.
I'm so glad you said that. I think about it.
That's exactly what it is.
That's exactly
It is, man. You got a womb. Yeah.
How do you smell?
You're giving out all your secrets. Harley's like,
Are you talking about me?
you use that on me. You know the problem is, if you ever have a health issue, a health related like emergency, I'm going to ignore you. You haven't heard that? No, he's not. He's gonna get a baby in your head and say, "Oh shoot, I guess shouldn't have cried more."
His face is purple though.
Yeah, man, he's getting good at this. All right. Any other questions? All right. You.
Me.
I want to talk to you. Can you switch places?
Yeah. Me.
I heard you call a lot of people and nobody showed up or something.
Yeah.
All right, let's get into some phone scripts.
do
Tell us the story first.
Oh,
Like,
story?
yeah, like how many people did you call?
Not a story.
Oh, not a story, the story. Should I tell them who I am first?
Tell us who you are.
All right. Well, my name's Jake.
Oh, hang on.
Oh,
Here comes the board. That takes presents. Love you guys, but hey, buddy, go ahead.
Hey, Chris.
Yes, sir.
So, 2 questions.
Yep.
The policy would be your direct deposit, right?
Yeah. Just you don't need a check, but if she has like a direct or a deposit slip, or even just like a check that you can just copy the routing number and the account at the bottom, that'll be fine.
Okay. And then also, as far as the medical question,
Yeah.
I don't really pull that out.
Yeah, you do, but for her, it's going to be basically, do all no's, and then more than anything, what you need to know about the hypothyroid is and this is for any kind of an ailment. You're literally just looking for when they, who diagnosed it, like what doctor, if they know. If they don't, it's not a big deal. When they got diagnosed is important, and that it's controlled with no issues using the medication listed in the app. Yeah, no, and there's no, I always put the words like if there's not, no complications. So like in her case, it's probably like 112 mcg of Synthroid. A lot of people have that or comment with that. I had one this week as it was. So just get the dosage, how many times a day she takes it, how long she's had it, and the fact that it's controlled. And that's it. Yeah, and then everything else, just kind of just. They may, because it's the same question. It says, diabetes or thyroid. You just need to make sure you explain that it's thyroid, not diabetes. That way they don't require a diabetic question. Just document it as best you can, and then get the signatures, and we can kind of clean it up here in the office a little bit. I can help you through like how to make it look like in the format that they're expecting.
Okay. And so I just need to get her dosage.
Yeah, if she has it.
Dosage if she has it.
Yeah.
And then
One time daily. Yeah, when she was diagnosed, has controlled, no issues ever since. document and downplay.
Mm-hmm.
That's our job. Or they're advocates. But seriously, that is such a very minor issue. It's not even gonna. They're like.
I just want to make sure I feel everything out right.
Yeah. Don't worry about that so much. I mean, go ahead because I know you're like kind of a neat freak when it comes to that. But you can do a lot of that when you get back to the office. The big thing is get the key details. You know, you're basically everything's going to be no except one of the answers is going to be yes. It's going to be diabetes or thyroid. You're going to say yes there, and then you're just going to put what I just told you. There's a place towards like that you'll be able to explain anything. Like you list the number in a letter and just say was diagnosed with hypothyroid in 2000 and blah. Prescribed Synthroid 112 NCG. Has had no issues ever since. Or medication completely controls. Comment, no issues or no complications. Does that make sense? So just kind of like that. All right, buddy. I'll talk to you later. All right. See you. All right, bye. All right. We're back. Sorry.
And we're live.
These commercial interruptions.
Commercial break.
All right. So you set a bunch of appointments, and this is I forget who told me. I may have been Lou. Or,
Yeah.
Yeah, I was talking with Lou.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, just tell us what happened. So how many did you talk to? How many did you book? And then how many actually showed up?
I gotta think about my numbers. I don't have them in front of me.
And that right there.
I'll have them right in front of me.
Next time.
Yeah.
So that'll help you. It's not for me. I could care less.
So I mean, last time I set appointments, I set 6 or 7 on like 9, 10, 11 contacts.
Okay.
It actually when Evan was here.
So about 70%.
Yeah. So set 6 on 11, I think it was.
Okay.
One of them showed.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So show ratio is not there. So, but how
Let
I
me
remember
ask-
last time we were talking with Nick, like
Yeah, I want to dive into. I'm going to go further back than your phone script. What kind of leads are you calling right now? Like
final expense,
and where are they located at?
Jacksonville.
Duval.
Yeah.
Is it all the final expense aren't there?
Yeah.
Yeah. Tell me about the places that you go to, and there's a reason I'm asking this because I have some personal experiences because I kind of tried it out.
Okay, so the first one that showed was like Jack's Beach area, and then
Right,
once I went downtown, like north side downtown.
Do you get into like government assisted facilities and stuff like that?
I wouldn't say government assisted facilities, but I mean definitely it's a put it on like a rougher side of town, but I mean it's still homes.
They're homes, they're not, yeah.
Right.
Because I hit like a lot of like fenced in facility, like government run, like you checked in with a guard. I mean, like,
Yeah.
and some of those are really, I have a lot of notions there.
Yeah.
Let's do this. I do want to go through your phone script, but I will say one of the things I'm going to suggest for you and Lou to kind of experiment with is try to get outside of Jacksonville and see if you have the same experience with it. Sometimes, and be careful here, the gut reaction of a new agent is always to blame leads. Let somebody with some experience blame the leads for you, and you just keep your chin up and keep trying to get better at your skill set.
Okay.
But all that being said, sometimes, and I believe like Duval has some very impoverished areas that I've come across. It is tricky. I've tried it myself, and not that I'm the God's gift to sales. I'm pretty good, and I struggled myself with that in that area. Ways around that would be if you were going with brand new A leads, which you're probably not at this point because you're brand new, still trying to cover costs and stuff, right? You can get a little better, but in my experience, it's been kind of a high percentage of that. That said, let me make sure let's hear your phone script and let me kind of see if I hear anything, because sometimes it is, but
Yeah.
my gut tells me right off that if once you switch gears.
So normally I put the script in front of me, so I don't have it. It's in the other room.
Go get it.
All right, cool.
I'm gonna
Like you got to go home or something.
All right, cool. No, all right. Let me go grab it.
I got to go right down the hall and get it. Is that okay?
My dog ate mine.
Yeah.
We'll start that.
Okay. Ready for Thursday?
Always.
He said always.
Oh,
Big rain.
All right.
Ready.
Just ready?
Cool.
This
All right.
girl texted me, actually. So I'm gonna be Chris. I'm 76 years old. 75. All right. Because that's, I mean, you call them on phone steps, right?
Yeah.
Let's do that.
Yeah, anywhere from 50. Cool.
Yeah.
Ring, ring.
Hello.
Hey, Chris.
Yeah.
Hey, Chris, this is Jake. How are you?
Oh, good. Jake who?
Hey, this is Jake from Senior Benefits. I was calling, Chris, about that form that you filled out, basically just trying to find out some information about the state-regulated insurance plans that they have out there. Do you remember filling that out?
I'm not sure if I do, Jake.
Okay, this is Chris Longo, right?
It is.
Over there off of 123 Main Street in Jacksonville.
Yep, that's me.
Okay, so I must have the right guy then, Chris. My simple job, though, is just get that information that was requested out there to you. And I just wasn't sure. Are you still working or are you retired?
I'm retired now.
Oh, you're retired, Chris? That's awesome. You're living the good life then?
Trying to.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I'm still setting the alarm clock each morning. But I'm just trying to set up my route for tomorrow there, Chris. I just wasn't sure. Since you're retired, you pretty much home all day?
Yeah, I do have some doctor's appointments just tomorrow, though.
Okay, what time are those doctor's appointments?
I think when I got my first one's at 10.
10 or so. That's the first one. Is that the only one or you got some
I
more?
think I want to be there for about 2.
2 or so?
Yeah.
And probably back home around 3 or so?
Yeah, I should be.
Okay, okay. Well, Chris, if you got a piece of paper and a pen near you, like I said, I'm going to drop
so,
these off.
there's nothing, I don't hear anything crazy. There's a couple of tips I want to give you.
Okay, for sure.
But in general, your script is fine. You're rushing a little bit.
Okay.
You're predicting my answer and you're answering before I'm even done giving it.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I'm doing, oh good, I'm glad you're great. I'm like, I'm still saying I'm fine, and you're like, oh good.
Gotcha.
So slow down. I mean, you're booking the appointments. Generally, let's go through the tie down at the end. Like, so skip. Like, so yeah, no, 3 o'clock works.
Okay. So Chris, go ahead and write that down again. My name's Jake, and then I got you there for about 3 o'clock there tomorrow. See, and that's where that's where I struggle.
So I would say, hey, can you think of any reason you wouldn't be there?
Yeah,
I would ask that question.
that's where I would jump to. I mean, it says it on there, but I just say, hey, I'll be out there about 3.
And I'm always between 3 and 4. Why would you ever give yourself 1 minute on the dot to show up at somebody's house?
Yeah,
I'll be there at 3. You're at 3:01. Guess what?
not there.
You're late. No, you're late in their mind. You said 3.
Yeah.
And some people are peculiar about time.
Yeah.
Some people aren't. But if you say I'll be there, I'll try to get there right at 3. That's horrible.
Okay.
Okay. I'm going to put you down for, like, say, between a 3 and a 4 o'clock time frame. Okay.
Okay.
I went from 1 minute to an hour.
Yeah.
And all I did is just set expectations differently than you did.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it drives me nuts. But, all right, I'll be there right at 3. I'm like, oh my God. How in the world are you going to be there right at 3? Are you that good? My traffic's going to screw me up.
Right.
Yeah. So give yourself an hour. You're driving.
Okay.
All right. And so, all right. So I'm going to put you down, like, say, between a 3 and a 4. Besides the doctor's visit and being home, is there any reason you wouldn't be home, but you might say 3 and 4 if we were to schedule it then for you? Okay. All right. Well, listen, my name's Jake. I drive a blah, blah, blah. So I won't be a stranger pulling up. Is it an apartment complex or is it like?
Yeah, an apartment.
It's an apartment. Are there numbers on the buildings or how does?
Yeah, that's building 15.
First floor, second floor?
First one.
First. That's good. You're probably happy you don't have to go upstairs, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, I will see you tomorrow between 3 and 4 o'clock. We'll make sure to get this right out to you. Do me a favor. You can write like a sticky note and put it on your fridge as a reminder. I appreciate it. That's adding some tie down stuff. But can you just think of any reason besides the whatever they said? Is there any reason you wouldn't be? And some people are scared to do that because they're so trying to get the appointment. But like you've moved beyond getting the appointments, you can't get them to show up. So we got to slide that. We got to slide the scale a little bit more towards tying it down because you can book loose, you can book tight. Really, somewhere in the middle is where you want to book.
Right. Because
tight, I mean, you're getting a wire on the phone and getting on the cry. Loose is like, hey, are you generally home ever? That's right, Mark. Yeah, that's like ridiculously loose. So there's a balance there, and we're sliding you. We need to slide you a little closer to tighter because you're probably booking a little loose.
Yeah.
That said, have a conversation with Lou. I would go out to either like southern Georgia. I would look at Clay County. I'd look at some other areas. Putnam can get a little impoverished too. But downtown Duval, if you're doing a lot there, it's load them up.
Yeah.
Load them up, load them up. They're all going to say yes.
Right.
But then get them to be there and get them to be able to buy. It can be tricky. Not impossible.
Right.
You're just going to need numbers on your sides to make it work.
Yeah.
I don't hear anything too crazy though. Do you hear anything, James?
No.
As well. You think it's all right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought you sounded.
That was the thing. I mean, like,
Can we practice it again? I want you to go a little slower this time.
Yeah.
Let's practice on your cadence, like your tempo a little bit. I do want you to kind of like. I like the friendliness. I like how you go off. I call it going off script.
that's what I do. I keep this in front of me just to make sure I hit the points.
I think it's a safety blanket. You never looked at that thing once.
I didn't say that. I always,
Dude, for years I had.
Yeah.
You're fine.
And that's why I keep it there, because you said, is there any reason why I want that? Like, but I always look over that one.
Yeah.
So,
Okay. Yeah, let's do it. Let's do another one. I want you to I want you to relax and slow down a little bit and just kind of
We're
breathe.
making nervous.
yeah, I hate
It's our
talking on
lean.
the phone in front of people.
Making. Well, get over it. I mean, this is how you get better. I mean, this is family, so you can't do it in front of us.
I don't even do it in front of my mom.
Yeah.
if you can't do it in front of us, we'll make fun of you.
Well, there's that. You got to get so comfortable
Yeah.
that, like, once you hit that level, you truly don't care, and that's where I need you anyway.
Yeah.
I don't need you. If you care at all about booking or not booking, you're gonna have a hard time.
Yeah.
When you completely don't care and you're married to the process, not a person.
Right.
You're just, if I do this enough, I'm gonna get some appointments. Yeah. I don't care. I don't even fight objections as hard. People are like, how do you overcome this? Like, I've got some tools in my bag, but if they really fight me, I don't want to set myself up for a no-show or,
Yeah.
I'd rather call some more people and get some people that are interested.
Well, and I think too, a lot of times they can hear that over the phone too. If
100%.
they think you're like,
Desperate.
well, it doesn't matter if I get this or not, then they're like, well, it doesn't matter if he gets my phone right. I just will let him come.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, like,
All right.
they're
We'll
like,
do our best.
Right.
yeah, and then the same thing is they're like, dang, he's so here going, well, I don't know if I want him to come or not, so.
It is. But yeah, in other words, in order for phone script to be effective, it needs to be so boring to you that you don't care.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I will dial in front of I will grab people's leads and dial in for them. I'll call people, but I just could care less.
Yeah.
Because we don't need one dial. We need a million.
Right.
I mean, you're working on your millionth number.
Right. Yeah.
You got a lot to get there.
That's right.
So, all right, go ahead.
So, ring, ring.
Hello.
Hey, Chris.
Yeah.
Hey, Chris. This is Jake. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. Hey, Chris, it looks like you filled out a form here just requesting some information about the regulated insurance plans that they have out there. You remember sending that in, Chris?
What is it again? I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's about the state regulated plans for the final expense, funeral coverage, things like that. This is Chris Longo, right?
It's really good. Good. Yeah. This is Chris.
Okay, and you're over there off of 123 Main Street.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, Chris, like I said, I'm just my job is just get that information out there to you that you requested, and I'm going to be out in that area dropping these off with about 20, 25 other people. I just wasn't sure. What time do you normally get home from work?
I'm retired now.
Oh, you're retired. You're living the good life then, Chris?
I'm trying to.
That's right. I wish I was retired, but I mean, you got to work for quite a while till you get there. But anyways, Chris, so since you're retired, you pretty much going to be home all day?
Yep. Should be home.
Awesome. No appointments or anything that you know of?
No. I'll be here watching Jeopardy.
Okay, cool. Good job. I love Jeopardy. That's at like 7:30, right?
They have reruns all day now.
Well, I don't want to interrupt Jeopardy, Chris, but you got a piece of paper and a pen near you?
Sure. Hang on, since I'm not there. Sorry, Bill.
I got a call coming in on the other line.
Yeah. We're stopping all progress. Go ahead. No, it is not considered. It's not. She doesn't own that. The Army does, or the Navy does. Yep, you're good. You're not replacing anything.
Okay, cool.
All right. Nope, you're good. All right. Can I hear some kids back there?
Yeah, our kids out.
How old are your kids? Oh my goodness. Tell her I think her mama Daphne is a sweetheart. Oh boy. All right. Any other questions, brother?
The temporary life insurance agreement, so that out.
Is that the one that has 3 questions at the top, and all of them are going to be no for her? Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, and then with the acknowledgement portion, as long as there's all no's, I don't just put anything there, right?
Right, but depending on, yes, on the temporary insurance agreement, the TIA,
What did you say?
you're talking about the TIA, the temporary insurance agreement?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine. That's not a critical document.
Okay.
It just basically gives her protection during the underwriting period. She's so healthy, though. I mean, it's going to take a whole day probably to get her approved. Biggest thing is you make sure you got signatures on everything.
On everything.
Mm-hmm.
Back and forth.
And I just have her sign everything.
It requires a signature. Yeah, even if you don't think you need it, just grab it, and we'll shred the ones that we don't need. Yep. And just somewhere separate, not on the app, you can write down the information about like her IRAs and what she's contributing and how much her balances are. We'll have our experts look at that. Okay.
Yeah, I got all that.
Okay.
So
All right.
we'll talk about that.
Okay, that's fine.
All right. Cool. Thanks, man.
All right, buddy. Call me if you need anything.
All
All right. Later, buddy. Bye.
Did you see when you asked me about
Is he getting
kids,
green
either
shoes too?
names or age?
Hey, she's got 2 IRAs. Let's go.
I said, you see when you ask him about the kids, you knew their names or ages or.
He might have. I was just trying to. She was in the background. So she was like where he's at. I was helping her mom in Valdosta, and I was looking for referrals. And so I threw it to him to call her.
Yeah.
And he set it all up. So, but yeah, that was anytime you connection again. Kids, Mama's Daphne. Like, more connections, the better. It just strengthens the bridge. You're doing phone script.
That was a lot better.
Yeah, you were slower. I would add on to just that work on that tie down, but also tell Lou that we talk. I mean, I'll talk to Lou too if you want. I call down there all the time.
Yeah.
Because I have agents like in their neck of the woods. I'm like, give me the rundown. What's good, what's bad.
Yeah.
You know, as long as I know what we're getting into. I mean, it's not all bad. It's percentage. So you gotta, and you know your area. So I can give Lou some insight if he wants to try to help him pick something better. But if you do tie it down a little better. How's your in-home? You doing okay in that? Or
I mean, the ones that I've gotten into.
is that your biggest struggle, just getting into them?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
And, I mean, I call every home. And that's what they
That's
ask,
great.
you know, so, yeah, I got no problem getting the medications or things, like getting everything that you need to run the court or things like that. So.
I hid it years ago.
Oh, my gosh.
That's why.
Okay, well, let's, I don't have a lot more advice because your phone script's not horrible. The one thing I did hear, that retirement joke you made was not good. I guess you got to work for a while.
Yeah.
I would lose that one.
Yeah.
I mean, don't
You got nothing else to do.
don't force that.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, oh man, so you like living the good life is fine
Yeah. All right.
because that's natural.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Hey.
I definitely play.
Yeah. Well, it looks like you got. Yeah. Just don't talk to. I mean,
Yeah.
if you've got something easy
Yeah.
and you feel comfortable with it, nail it.
Yeah.
But if you're not nailing it, let it go. It's better to say less and say
Yeah.
something more wrong.
Yeah.
Because it created awkwardness.
Yeah, I did for sure.
I guess you got.
It was awkward saying it. That was
You're
the first
right.
time I ever
You should.
said
Yeah,
it.
you shouldn't say it. But if it felt like your kids or something or dog or oh my god, what kind of dog you got? Like, that's all fine.
Yeah.
But to try to come up with something just for the sake of doing it, that usually can hurt you more than it helps.
Yeah.
Okay. That's it.
Cool.
Man. You're pretty good, Jake. Just work on your pacing, slow down, be natural, and yeah, let's look on the area a little bit.
Okay.
I would.
Yeah, definitely speed because I mean, now that you say it, it really brings it to light to me because I mean, I'm just thinking about trying to get to the next one, the next time.
Yeah.
And I should have.
Love the one you're with.
Exactly.
Always.
Exactly.
All right, dude. Yeah, again, I don't have a whole lot more for you. You seem you're technically okay.
Okay.
I think they need to adjust. I need to slow down a little bit. make sure you're adding the tie downs into it. Like if you need to highlight them so you don't forget.
Yeah.
Hey, is there any, like I do the combo move. Hey, by the way, is there any reason you wouldn't be home between 3 and 4? Like almost as a separate thing. Oh, like I just thought of it. Right. No, you didn't. That's how you presented it. Oh, by the way, now that I say that, is there any reason you wouldn't be home between 3 and 4 tomorrow to receive something? Yeah. Remember Columbo? I don't. I saw reruns, but I know who he is. All right. Anything else, brother?
No, I think that's
Okay.
really the main thing.
Okay. Good job.
Not at the moment. Anyway.
Does anyone else need help? You know, just watching, or does anybody want? You got good tips. Harlan, you good? Just drop some here. What's your name?
Jean.
Gene. I know I see you like all the time, but I still learn everybody's name. But his name begins with a D. I'm just gonna call you D. It's the no
DeVille.
the I have the V in there. I just figured out how I'm gonna remember it.
Well, the good thing is if I respond, I'm alive. You know, I like to take my moment.
Yes. Get license.
Waiting.
Get license.
Hurry up. All right. Well,
I'm good. Yeah.
everybody's good. All right. Well, good job. Appreciate it. We're going to try to do this every Monday. We are open next Monday after conference. So who's all going to conference? Everybody? Good. Everybody get their rides figured out?
Oh, we're taking
Yeah, my
two
car is
people.
full.
Yeah, we've been doing that today, like kind of getting everybody matched up.
Exactly.
They wanted to put another person in my car. I said, no more.
You want me to exit out?
Yeah, if you don't mind. Thank you so much.
Right up here.
Just put them in the trunk.
Yeah, down at the right hand side of the
We'll
And
take
the
it.
time on like
We'll
a
take
deer.
it. We'll take it, but it's not going to be the most